TalkZone.com.
David Spada is a successful attorney whose dream was to become a sports talk show host. Elliott Harris is a Chicago Sun-Times sports columnist who wanted to expand his media presence. In the next hour, they combine their talents and love of sports and women by interviewing former professional athletes and lovely ladies on sports and torts. But keeping the boys out of trouble isn't always easy, because when David and Elliott are together, they have more fun than should be legal.
Elliott, we're back again. What is this, our 7th, 8th show today? Third month, I know.
I was never good in math. That's why I got into writing.
I want to thank all our listeners. We got our ratings. They're incredible. But keep listening. Tell your friends we enjoy doing this. We enjoy talking to the athletes and even the lovely women.
Even the lovely women. Wait a second. I think you need to get your priorities straightened out a little bit. I think they might be a little skewed the wrong way, but that's just me.
I think women drive the show.
Women drive the world, don't they?
Exactly. We got a full plate today again. We've got NBA Hall of Famer, one of the 50 greatest players, Rick Barry. We have college basketball, soon-to-be Hall of Famer, Cassie Russell. And we have someone from Playboy Golf.
J.J. Nesham, who is one of the main marketing mavens for that lovely event, which has its finals coming up in Los Angeles. They also have a Chicago stop on the Playboy Golf Tour, which is always a fun event.
And for those of you saying, JJ, why are you having a guy on? JJ is a woman, I found out.
Definitely.
But how about that Bulls game last night? They blew a 17-point halftime lead.
You like that?
I don't get it.
Just when everybody's set to say, okay, the Bulls are going to make it at least to the NBA Finals, then they have a game like that and say, not so fast.
There's a reason that Billy Donovan, the coach of Florida, said that Al Horford's a better player than Noah. He showed it last night.
Boy, he's been a fairly dominant force since he came into the league, performing at a higher level. I mean, you have to love Joakim's energy. You have to love the improvement he's had season to season. But Al Horford, not bad.
Let's get to our first guest. A guy who wasn't a bad NBA player, was one of the 50 greatest players in history, played with numerous teams. He was a small forward. NBA Hall of Famer Rick Barry. How you doing, Rick?
I'm doing great, guys. Thanks.
He was a big small forward, though.
Not really.
No?
Not in today's game.
Well,
I'd probably be more like a two-guard size.
You'd be the shooting guard, right?
Yeah, I could be the shooting guard in today's game. The way the size of these guys. I mean, they got 7-footers playing out there at the 3 spot, for heaven's sake.
Rick, David Spada, I looked at your rookie year. You averaged 20 points and 10 rebounds a game as a 6'7" small forward. How did you do that?
Well, actually, it's really kind of interesting because most of these kids coming into the NBA today don't stay in school for 4 years. And it's a big transition. It's a major difference when you go from playing in college to go to the NBA. In my case, I went to school for 4 years. You couldn't play as a freshman, so I played on a freshman team that they had. And I got 3 years of playing ball in college in a system that was really professional basketball. My coach was a former top NBA player by the name of Bruce Hale, and we played pro basketball. We played man-to-man defense. We ran the ball. Back in those days, my senior year, without the three-point shot, we averaged 98 points a game. Think about that. 98 points a game for college basketball without the three-point shot. So I was also taught by him after the season was over, working on my game, showing me the things to expect, how to use my body, what the pro game was going to be like. So I really had 4 years of minor league training, so to speak. When I went to the NBA, and I averaged a lot. I think I averaged something like 16, 17 rebounds a game or something in my senior year. It was easier for me. It really was actually easier in my rookie year than it was my senior year in college because I had one guy guarding me. When I played in college, the entire defense was geared to stop me, box and ones, zones, just everything to try to shut me down. So when I went there, I said, oh, my God, this is incredible. I get to play against only one guy. And it really was not a big transition for me, and it's rare that a guy comes out of college and makes the first team All-Pro, which I was fortunate to do. In fact, I still look at that plaque that I have from the Sporting News, and I look at it as me as a 21-year-old kid. Well, actually, it turned 22 before the season was over. I'm just to turn 22 years old, and I'm looking there, and there I am with Wilt Chamberlain, with Jerry West, Elgin Baylor, my hero, Oscar Robertson, and I'm on that plaque with them as one of the top 5 players in the NBA. It was like a dream come true for me.
So was it easy to not get overconfident at that point? Say, hey, I've got it made? I'm as good as these guys?
Well, I actually got to be better the next year because I realized the thing is in that first year when I was playing, I got most of my points because Guy Rogers was our point guard, God rest his soul, my point guard teammate, who was a great passer, loved to get assists. And so they nicknamed me the Miami Greyhound coming from the University of Miami because I just ran and ran and ran. And I got out on the fast breaks, and I got a lot of easy baskets in transition. And I drove to the basket and got to the free throw line. I didn't do a lot of outside shooting, and so I realized that the next year that they're going to probably play me to try to shut down the middle, try to force me outside, so I needed to get prepared to be able to do more from the perimeter. And so I really worked even more on that part of my game, and it was kind of easy, actually, because they backed off me. And I think early in the season that next year, at one stretch, I was averaging over 40 points a game because they were giving me the shot, and I was knocking the shot down. And then when they came up on me, I was able to drive by them and get to the free throw line. I still ran, still got out on the break. I mean, it's so simple. When you break it down, I even talked to my younger son. I said, score 20 points a game is not very difficult. I mean, if you figure it out, if you get out on the fast break and you have a team that runs, you should be able to get 6 points a game on transition baskets. If you just hustle a little bit, okay, and get one offensive rebound put back in a game, you go up to 8 points. You drive to the basket and get fouled and get to the foul line about 6 times. You make your free throws. You should be making at least, to me, all 6, but 5 out of 6. So where am I? I'm up to 15 points a game, basically, almost, or 13, 15. Well, all I have to do is make 3 outside shots out of 7 or 8 that I take, and I'm at 20 points.
I'm so glad you said this. They wrote me into coaching 4th and 5th grade girls basketball. My oldest daughter's in 2nd grade, and these parents were on me. You got to run plays. You got to run plays. This team didn't win a game last year. I have these girls, they can't do full court press, they can only do half court press, playing man-to-man D, going for the ball, going for steals, and going at the basket. And these girls are running these other teams out of the gym. They're smaller, and I go, and the parents still say, but why don't you run some plays? I said, they're 4th and 5th grade girls. If they pressure, they could steal the ball every time. If they go to the basket, try to score, because they're going to miss most of their shots. But when they make it, and you know what, they wear the teams down, but no one wants to do that anymore.
Well, even in the NBA, it's kind of pathetic because whatever happened to actually trying to create easy baskets for your star players? Now what they do is, Kobe holds off his man. You watch Dwayne Wade, you watch LeBron, you watch Dirk, and whatever. They have the toughest guy guarding them all the time, right? And they hold them off to get the ball, and they go one-on-one against this guy with the whole other team sucking in, trying to do stuff. And these guys are so good, they're still able to produce. What would ever happen if you ran them over double and triple staggered screens, if you ran reverses and stuff, and got them easy baskets and make the game a little bit easier for them? I mean, that's the part that I miss, is trying to utilize your offense to create opportunities, not only for your star players, because they're so worried about them. You run double and triple staggered screens, they're going to double, the 2 guys are going to jump out sometime, which will free a guy up to slip to the basket. You can get an easy hoop that way. I was taught that the more screens you set, the more decisions the defense has to make, the more the likelihood that they'll make a mistake. And if your players are smart enough to recognize those things, you will pick a team apart.
What do you think's going down in Miami with Bosh and Wade and James down there?
Well, I have no problem with what they did. I mean, these guys want to win. I mean, I know LeBron was criticized by Michael Jordan and by Magic Johnson a lot. But, hey, those guys had some great players that joined. They won championships. If Magic Johnson had played with the Los Angeles Lakers, they didn't have Kareem and James Worthy and all those other great players he played with and played for 7 years there, didn't see a likelihood of winning a championship, and he had a chance to go team up with another great player to win, he would not be in L.A.
Now, a part of the game I miss was your specialty, the underhand free throw. Well, you're probably the last guy in the NBA to shoot free throws underhanded.
George Johnson was my teammate who went from 45% to 80%.
Okay. Will we ever see that again?
Well, if my 17-year-old son, who's now shooting him in high school, continues to improve and makes it up there, yeah, you might see it again.
I can't call it Rick Barry style because the kids don't know who Rick Barry is, so I call it Granny style, and the girls look at me and said, listen, it's easier to make free throws that way.
Well, yeah, the problem is that when people have them do it, they have them do it with a technique that really isn't very good, and you really can't shoot it unless your hands are big enough to hold the ball properly. But like anything else, even if you did it with a crazy form, if you did it enough times and you repeated it, it probably could work for them. But it's a very soft shot. It's very easy to do. It's a natural position that you're shooting from. Shooting a basketball is not a natural position. I mean, do you walk around with your arms up, up in the air and your elbows bent? And I don't think so. So that's the whole difference. It's a very natural shot, very easy to control it, and an incredibly soft shot.
Yeah,
When it hits the rim, it just dies.
Yeah, but it worked a lot better for you than it did for Wilt.
Well, Wilt didn't have the right technique. I used to joke with him about it and say, yeah, you should have come to me. I would have shown you how to do it properly. Your technique sucked.
But a lot of these guys in the NBA, these stars, I mean, they give a lot of points away at the free throw line. You take the Dwight Howard.
Forget the points. They give away games. That's the most important thing. It's not about the individual points. It's about the team points and the games that you lose. If an NBA team shot 80% from the free throw line as a team during the course of an NBA season, that's worth probably 8 to 10 victories for them in close games.
But you don't see them shooting 80%.
No, because they have egos. It's all about the ego. I didn't want to do it that way. Are you kidding me? I said, come on, Dad. Everybody make fun of me. I said, son, you really need to try it because it's not about that. He said, if you're making the shots, nobody's going to make fun of you. I said, it's about trying to shoot the highest percentage. It's the only part of the game you can be totally selfish, think only of yourself, and still help your team. And so when I did shoot it and I made the transition over, I always remember I was shooting in one game and one guy from the stands just said, hey, Barry, you big sissy. And the guy next to him said, what are you making fun of him for? He never misses.